So I'm making this video. I'm literally using my phone because some days I just really want to talk to you guys. and this is just me after a long day of working from home, no lashes, no makeup. Like this is me. This is Mel and her natural day, her natural Monday. But I really wanted to talk to you guys, and I wanted to talk to you guys about I really wanted to discuss with you guys the importance of just trying to stay in your femininity as much as you can. And if you feel like you can't, then I would definitely recommend going to therapy. And femininity has always been something that I struggled with a lot growing up. As you guys can see, like with all my videos, you guys are probably like, how? Like, you look so feminine, you have your makeup on, you sound feminine, like all that stuff. But femininity isn't really just about like how you talk and how you dress. Femininity is also about the energy that you're exuding. And I also always struggled with not being feminine enough with my energy. I would have people tell me, like, you come off as tough, you come off as abrasive. Like, when you walk in the room, you come off as stern, or you come off as hard to approach. And I finally, it really dawned on me today that all of that comes from trauma. That all comes from trauma. I come from an environment or a past where people would literally wanted to beat me up just because I thought I was cute. Where I would literally walk into school. When I was in high school, you guys, I was very quiet. I wasn't a loud spoken person. I wouldn't talk at all. Actually, like when I was a little girl, like my parents used to think, like, is she okay? Because she doesn't talk. Like, I was never someone who wanted to talk. I was always just not shy, but like I just don't want to over involve myself with anyone. And when I was in high school, I looked honestly exactly how I looked right now, like look right now in high school. Probably just had some like acne and stuff, but I literally looked the same. And I remember the girls when I was in high school would try to bully me a lot. I wasn't black enough. I wasn't tough enough. I wasn't confrontational enough. Like, I literally remember, I'll never forget this. When I was in high school, I was like 15, and there was this girl, and that was okay, I took all AP classes when I was in high school, but this was this one class that for some reason I couldn't wrap my head around it, so I had to take a regular level class. And there was this girl in the class, when I walked in, she kind of always knew that I wasn't an outspoken person, that I was more of a quiet person, that I was more of someone who minded my business and all that. I didn't really like talk to anybody, only the people I knew, and I was focused on my studies. And I don't know, I wasn't really thinking about other people. I was kind of like doing my own thing. When I was walking in lunch before that class, her boyfriend at the time was catcalling me with his friends. I didn't even turn around. I didn't look. Like, my friends were like, oh, look, he's calling you. Like, I wasn't thinking about boyfriends in high school, you guys. I come from like the most conservative family in the world. Like, I was not thinking about boys or anything like that. And I go into class, and the guy that was catcalling me, his girlfriend was in that class, and I guess she saw the commotion of when his friends were telling him, oh, look, she's here, go talk to her, go talk to her. You know, it's high school. Like, guys in high school, they have like 5 girlfriends. Like, high school guys are a joke. And so whatever. So I hear him catcalling me. I don't pay attention because I'm like literally studying flashcards. I'm looking down at my flashcards. So I go upstairs, and then I sit down, and she comes in the class like really pissed. And in my mind, I'm not thinking that she's pissed at me. Like, I'm thinking, I don't know what she's angry about. I wasn't even looking at her. So she sits right next to me. So I come and I sit down, and she pushes my desk. Like, she shoves, while I'm in my chair, she shoves the whole chair. So then I'm like, I put my chair right back. She's like, oh, don't sit next to me. I'm not playing games with you. And then she pushed it again and I put my chair back. And then my teacher asked her to leave. And in my head, I'm like, why is she pushing my chair? Like, what did I do to her? And remember, you guys, I told you that I wasn't who I am now. I was not that girl back then. And pushing my desk, or like I said, like I'm not a fighter. I'm not somebody who tries to jump on people, but I can definitely say that I'm a lot more reactive now, because it's like, you know, when you get older, it's kind of like, okay, I allowed that back then because I didn't know better, but I'm not going to allow that now. So I just try to like stay away from people who will even place me in those type of environments. I try to stay away from people who will even make me step into that, back into that. And you have to defend yourself, ladies, and try to put yourself in environments where you don't have to constantly defend yourself. If you're in an environment where you constantly have to be defending yourself, then you're in the wrong environment. Like if I'm in an environment or around a group of people or a group of women where I feel like you're going to trigger me and cause me to act out of character, cause me to get physical with you, because I know I'm no longer the type of person that's gonna like back down, because I've changed since then. I'm not gonna be a part of that environment. I'm just not gonna put myself in an environment like that. So it's so important to pick where you go. Like I tell you guys, I don't go everywhere. I don't hang out with anybody. I don't go to every restaurant. I don't go to every lounge. Like I pick and choose where I go based on the environment I feel like will fit me best. Not all flowers grow in the same environment. Not all fruits grow in the same states, right? So I know the environment that works for me, and I know the environment that does not work for me. And I purposefully don't go certain places, and I purposefully don't hang out with certain people, and I purposefully don't date certain men because I'm cultivating a safe space for myself. You know what I mean? I'm cultivating that safe space for me. You know what I mean? Like, I try to be around people who fit me and how I am and how I act. And I don't want to be around hostility, because now like I have to pay for it. Like now I have to work on my femininity. Now I have to try to get rid of this masculine energy built up from craziness that happened in my youth. And not in my youth, I'm still young, but like craziness that happened in my teens. Like I have to, you know, and I did notice that. Like, and I would have people point that out to me. Like when I turned 18, they're like, why do you always seem so like on guard and so just ready for a war anywhere that you go? And I'm like, I think it's a defense mechanism. I think it's a defense mechanism from the bullying. When I was in high school, girls thought, oh, she thinks she's cute. Or I was taking a bunch of AP classes, you guys. Like I was like so into books. I wasn't into anything else besides my books, and graduating with a high GPA. I had girls who would tell me like the most degrading things about myself because I didn't fit their interpretation of what I should be as a Black woman. And I would get that from family as well. And it's okay to be different. Like you don't have to fit into a box of what people tell you you should be based on your skin tone or your ethnicity or where you come from. Like you can come from whatever environment and make yourself the best. Just to point that out, you're free to change. But just saying that trauma will come to the surface, and it will. So if you've ever been bullied, if you've ever had an eating disorder, if you've ever had a narcissistic relationship, if you've ever had a situation where you were abused by people or whatever, like you have to try to go to therapy and fix that, because I promise you it's going to keep spilling into your new life, your new relationships. Like it's going to keep spilling. And when I noticed that it kept spilling, I was like, okay, I need to like address this, and I need to try to fix this and see if I can get my healing from that situation so it doesn't roll over into new situations. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. And that was one of the many experiences I had of getting bullied in high school. And I also got bullied in middle school and elementary school. And then I noticed that when I got out of high school, it was like this buildup of aggression and this buildup of anger and this buildup, just so much buildup. Like I would even have family members bully me, you guys. I would have cousins do the same thing that girls in high school would do to me. And really all because, I hate to say it, but they had an angry with the way that I looked. They had a problem with the way that I talked. They had a problem with the way that I carried myself. Like, confidence will bother people. Beauty will bother people. Being smart will bother people. Being classy will bother people. But that's why you have to make sure you're in the right environment so you being you doesn't bother people. But when you're in the wrong environment, who you are is going to bother people. Sorry. Okay. So I literally had like, once I graduated and I kind of like thought of like the bullying and all that stuff, like I had this like anger being built up. I would walk into rooms and not say hi to people anymore, not say good morning to people. I was very closed off, very guarded, just very much ready to pounce if I felt like I was threatened, because I spent so many years of not defending myself. And it's like, years and years and years of not defending yourself will cause you to hold on to this masculine energy all the time because you never defended yourself. And now that you're older, you're always on guard. And that's when I realized, I'm like, dang, like that's really something that I have to work on. Like I have to work on, because now you guys, like I don't even think a girl would think twice about